thinking about Easter and what Easter means, and for me, Easter means hope. But man, today it just seems like there's an absence of hope. It just seems like today we're just in this mess. And I want to talk about how we can be blessed in this mess. And yesterday, a couple days ago, we decided to let Jensen and McKenna play with some eggs and paint eggs, right? And so we thought that'd be a fun activity for them to do, right? So we put them at the kitchen table, and we put a paper down and gave them some paint and let them to go. And man, Jensen is like a fury, man. He just started just painting, and before we knew it, there was this gigantic mess everywhere. It's all over the curtains, all over the table, all over the floor, all over him. He ate the brush, he ate the paint. It was everywhere. We had to go take him to the bath and just spray them all off, and use Dawn dish soap to get the paint off. And we were scrubbing it everywhere. It's on the curtains. We got to wash the curtains. And we were kind of like, oh my gosh, this is just a huge mess. Why did we do this? But then started thinking about, man, they had so much fun. They were blessed in our mess, and they were having so much fun. And I began to think about what's going on in our lives and how this pandemic is just causing us to be in this gigantic mess. And so many people are walking around defeated with no hope. And I'm telling you, the absence of hope is measured in defeat. And if we walk around as Christians defeated because we don't have hope in what Christ can do, then everybody else is going to see that, and no one is going to have hope. And everybody's going to look at a tomb that has the stone rolled over it, thinking that Christ is still dead. But he's not dead. He's alive. And that presence of Christ fulfills our hope. And Christ is in us and within us, and he is moving and working, and he will work in your lives, and he will work in the lives of those that just reach out and accept him. I know Easter's going to look a little different, and I'm going to miss hanging out with you guys and coming together as families, but we can remember the one true thing that man, it was a mess for Christ. He was wrongly accused. He was put on trial, falsely acclaimed, or falsely accused of something he didn't do. And they beat him, they scourged him, they put him on a cross, and they tried to kill him, and he gave his life freely so we could live. And then they put him in a tomb, and the disciples and his mom and everybody around him all thought that this was just a gigantic mess and there was no hope and he was gone. And they cried, except for a few were like, maybe, just maybe. Until the third day when he came back and he fulfilled the hope that he had been placing in our hearts and in their hearts, and his presence gave them hope. And in today, the presence of Christ can give you hope. It can give you hope. And that image of our hope is found in the glory of Christ. And as Jesus stood in the middle of all his disciples after he came back from the dead, and he was standing there saying, "Do not be afraid, it is me," in that upper room, they had hope because Jesus became the image of that hope in his glory. So we need to anticipate that Christ is going to do the same thing for us, that his presence gives us hope. And if we have hope, we can share the hope with those that have no hope, who are absent of hope. I miss you guys. I'm praying for each and every one of you. Reach out. Let's encourage each other. Let's be there for one another. Love you guys. See you later.